Your brain is the most powerful weapon you'll ever own, but right now, it's firing at you. Every negative thought, every self-doubt, every fear. Your own mind is your enemy. But today, we flip the script. Today, you take command. Today, you control your brain before it controls you. Your brain is lying to you right now. Every single excuse you're making, every justification for why you can't do something, every reason you give for staying stuck, that's your brain playing tricks on you. Your brain is wired for survival, not success. It wants you comfortable, not great. It wants you safe, not wealthy. It wants you to stay exactly where you are because change is scary and the unknown is dangerous. But here's what you need to understand. If you don't control your brain will control you. It will keep you broke. It will keep you unhealthy. It will keep you trapped in your past. It will keep you playing small. And before you know it, years will pass and you'll look back wondering why nothing changed. Nothing changed because you didn't take control. You let your brain run the show. But today, that ends. Today, you learn how to master your mind. Today, you take back control. Because once you control your brain, you control your life. Let's talk about that voice in your head. You know the one. The one that tells you you're not good enough. The one that reminds you of every failure. The one that says, who do you think you are? The one that whispers, you can't do this. That voice is not you. That voice is your brain trying to protect you from potential pain, from potential embarrassment, from potential failure. But here's the problem. That same voice that protects you from pain also prevents you from greatness. That voice keeps you in your comfort zone, and nothing great has ever been achieved in the comfort zone. So you have to learn to recognize that voice and tell it to shut up. You have to learn to override it. You have to learn to do what you need to do even when your brain is screaming at you not to. Because your brain doesn't want you to wake up at 5 a.m. Your brain doesn't want you to go to the gym. Your brain doesn't want you to have that difficult conversation. Your brain wants you to hit snooze, stay on the couch, and avoid conflict. But you want more. So you've got to take control. Here's what most people don't realize. You can rewire your brain. Neuroplasticity is real. Your brain is not fixed. You can create new neural pathways. You can change your thought patterns. You can reprogram your subconscious mind. But it takes work. It takes consistency. It takes conscious effort. Every time you override your brain's default programming, you create a new pathway. Every time you do something your brain says you can't, you strengthen your mental discipline. Every time you push through discomfort, you expand your capacity. So start small. Your brain says, I'm tired, get up anyway. Your brain says, I deserve this junk food, eat the healthy option anyway. Your brain says, I'll start tomorrow, start today anyway. Because every single time you override your brain, you become stronger. Every single time you take control, you build mental muscle. And eventually, controlling your brain becomes automatic. Eventually, discipline becomes your default. Eventually, success becomes inevitable. Let's talk about your past. Your brain loves to keep you trapped there. It replays painful memories on repeat. It reminds you of mistakes you can't change. It holds on to trauma like a security blanket. And every time you try to move forward, your brain pulls you back. Remember when you failed? Remember when you were hurt? Remember when you weren't good enough? But here's the truth. Your past is not your prison unless you let it be. You control what you focus on. You control what you give power to. You control whether that memory defines you or refines you. So stop letting your brain keep you hostage to what happened. Yes, it happened. Yes, it was painful. Yes, it changed you. But it doesn't have to destroy you. You have the power to take those experiences and use them as fuel. You have the power to transform pain into purpose. But first, you have to control your brain. You have to stop the replay. You have to consciously choose to focus on where you're going instead of where you've been. Now let's address the money conversation. Your brain has money scripts running in the background that you're not even aware of. Money doesn't grow on trees. Rich people are greedy. I'll never be wealthy. Money is the root of all evil. These are programs installed in your brain by your parents, your environment, or experiences. And until you identify them and rewrite them, you'll stay broke. Because your external reality is a reflection of your internal programming. If your brain believes you're meant to struggle financially, you'll find a way to struggle. If your brain believes wealth is bad, you'll sabotage every opportunity to build it. So you have to reprogram. You have to install new beliefs. Money is a tool for good. I am worthy of wealth. Abundance is my birthright. I create value, and money flows to me. Say these things daily. Write them down. Speak them out loud, because your brain believes what you consistently tell it. And when your brain believes you're meant to be wealthy, it will start showing you opportunities you've been blind to. Let me tell you about discipline. Discipline is nothing more than controlling your brain. That's it. When your alarm goes off at 5 a.m., your brain screams, 5 more minutes. Discipline is getting up anyway. When you're at the gym and your brain says, this is too hard, let's quit. Discipline is doing 1 more rep. When you're working on your business and your brain says, this isn't working, give up. Discipline is pushing through. Every act of discipline is an act of brain control. And here's what happens when you consistently control your brain. You build self-trust. You prove to yourself that you can rely on you. You demonstrate that you're not a slave to your impulses. You show yourself that you're in charge. And that self-trust becomes your foundation for everything. With self-trust, you can achieve anything. Without it, you'll always doubt yourself. So build discipline. Control your brain. Keep your promises to yourself. Do what you said you'd do, even when you don't feel like it. Because feelings are just your brain trying to keep you comfortable. But you weren't built for comfort. You were built for greatness. Your brain is wired for negativity bias. It's an evolutionary survival mechanism. Your ancestors who noticed the tiger in the bushes survived. The ones who didn't notice died. So your brain is constantly scanning for threats, for problems, for what could go wrong. That's why you remember criticism more than compliments. That's why you dwell on failures more than victories. That's why you see obstacles instead of opportunities. But while negativity bias kept your ancestors alive, it's keeping you stuck. Because in today's world, the biggest threats aren't tigers, they're missed opportunities. So you have to consciously override this bias. You have to train your brain to look for the positive. Start a gratitude practice. Every morning, write down 3 things you're grateful for. Every night, write down 3 wins from your day. No matter how small, because what you focus on expands. When you train your brain to look for good, it finds more good. When you train it to see opportunities, it spots them everywhere. But you have to be intentional. You have to take control. Let's talk about fear. Fear is your brain's alarm system. And like any alarm system, sometimes it goes off when there's no real danger. Your brain can't tell the difference between a life-threatening situation and asking someone out on a date. It just knows, this is uncomfortable, we should avoid it. That's why public speaking terrifies people more than death. That's why people stay in jobs they hate. That's why most never pursue their dreams. Their brain's alarm is constantly going off, and they obey it. But here's the secret. You can acknowledge the alarm and do it anyway. Feel the fear and move forward. Thank your brain for trying to protect you. Then tell it you've got this. Because courage isn't the absence of fear. Courage is controlling your response to fear. Courage is recognizing that your brain is overreacting and proceeding despite its protests. And every time you do this, you desensitize your brain to that fear. You teach it, we survived this, it's actually okay. And gradually what once terrified you becomes routine. But you must take control first. Your health is a direct reflection of your brain control. Think about it. Your brain wants sugar. It lights up the same reward centers as cocaine. Your brain wants to stay sedentary. Movement requires energy, and your brain wants to conserve. Your brain wants to stay up late watching shows. It's easier than going to sleep. So, if you let your brain run on autopilot, you'll be overweight, unhealthy, and exhausted. But when you control your brain, everything changes. You choose the salad over the burger. You go to the gym even when you're tired. You prioritize sleep even when there's 1 more episode. And over time, your body transforms. Not because you have superhuman willpower, but because you've learned to control your brain. You've learned that the momentary pleasure your brain craves isn't worth the long-term consequences. You've learned that feeling good tomorrow is more important than feeling comfortable today. So if you want to transform your health, start by transforming your relationship with your brain. Stop being its servant, become its master. Mental health is where brain control becomes most critical. Depression tells your brain nothing matters, stay in bed. Anxiety tells your brain everything's dangerous, avoid it all. PTSD tells your brain the past is present, stay alert. And if you listen to these messages without question, they control your entire life. But here's what psychiatrists and therapists teach. You can observe your thoughts without being controlled by them. You can recognize, I'm having the thought that I'm worthless without believing it. You can notice, my brain is predicting catastrophe without accepting it as fact. This is called cognitive diffusion. You separate yourself from your thoughts. You recognize that thoughts are just electrical impulses in your brain, not truth. And once you create that separation, you gain control. You can choose which thoughts to engage with and which to let pass. You can challenge distorted thinking. You can replace negative patterns with healthy ones. But it requires practice, it requires awareness. It requires you to control your brain instead of letting your brain control you. Let's talk about habits. Every habit you have, good or bad, is a program running in your brain. Smoking, overeating, procrastinating, these are automated responses your brain has learned. Your brain loves automation because it saves energy. Once something becomes a habit, your brain doesn't have to think about it anymore. But here's the problem. Your brain doesn't distinguish between good habits and bad habits. It just automates whatever you repeat. So if you want to change your life, you have to change your habits. And to change your habits, you have to control your brain during that crucial moment when the habit wants to activate. That moment when you reach for the cigarette, stop. That moment when you're about to binge eat, pause. That moment when you want to hit snooze, override. It's uncomfortable. Your brain will resist. But if you can control your brain for just 30 seconds, you can break the pattern. And if you do this consistently for 66 days, the average time to form a new habit, you'll reprogram your brain. You'll install a new automated response. But those first few weeks require massive brain control. Are you willing to do it? Your brain is an excuse-making machine. It's incredible at rationalizing why you can't do something. I don't have time. I don't have money. I'm too old. I'm too young. I don't have experience. I don't have connections. Your brain will generate endless reasons why you should stay exactly where you are. But successful people have the same brains, the same excuse-generating machinery. The difference? They recognize excuses for what they are. Fear, dressed up as logic. They control their brain instead of letting it control them. When the excuse comes, they say, that's just my brain trying to keep me comfortable. I'm doing it anyway. Because here's the truth. If you really wanted to, you'd find a way. If you don't, you find an excuse. And it all comes down to brain control. Do you let your brain convince you it's impossible? Or do you override it and find a solution? Every successful person has chosen the latter. And if you want to join them, you must do the same. Stop letting your brain talk you out of your dreams. Start controlling it and moving forward, despite its protests. Let's address emotional eating, stress spending, and other destructive coping mechanisms. These are all examples of your brain seeking short-term relief from discomfort. Had a bad day? Your brain says, eat the whole pizza. You'll feel better. Feeling anxious? Your brain says, buy something. That'll calm you down. Feeling lonely? Your brain says, scroll social media for hours. But these solutions don't actually solve anything. They're temporary band-aids that often make things worse. The pizza leads to guilt and health problems. The shopping leads to debt and more stress. The scrolling leads to comparison and deeper loneliness. So you have to control your brain in these moments. When you feel the urge to use a destructive coping mechanism, pause. Recognize what's happening. My brain wants quick relief, but I know this will make things worse. Then choose a healthier response. Go for a walk. Call a friend. Journal your feelings. Meditate. These require more effort, which is why your brain resists them, but they actually address the root issue. And over time, you can retrain your brain to reach for healthy coping mechanisms automatically. But first, You must take control. Your brain is constantly creating stories about reality. Someone doesn't text back. Your brain creates a story. They hate me. You don't get the promotion. Your brain creates a story. I'm not good enough. You see a successful person. Your brain creates a story. They got lucky. I never will. But these stories aren't facts. They're interpretations, and they're usually wrong. Someone doesn't text back because they're busy. You don't get the promotion because someone else was a better fit right now. That successful person worked their ass off while you were making excuses. But your brain stories feel like truth, so you believe them. And those beliefs shape your reality. If you believe people hate you, you'll act defensive and push them away. If you believe you're not good enough, you'll stop trying. If you believe success requires luck, you'll never put in the work. So you must control your brain's storytelling. When it creates a negative narrative, challenge it. Is this actually true, or is this just a story I'm telling myself? Usually, it's just a story. And once you recognize that, you can choose a better story, one that empowers you instead of limiting you. Comparison is your brain trying to establish where you rank in the social hierarchy. It's another evolutionary mechanism. Your ancestors needed to know their place in the tribe to survive. But social media has hijacked this mechanism. Now your brain is comparing you to thousands of people's highlight reels. And no matter how well you're doing, your brain will always find someone doing better. This leads to envy, inadequacy, and misery. But here's what you need to understand. Comparison is a thought pattern you can control. When you catch yourself comparing, stop. Redirect your focus. Instead of they have what I want, think, if they can do it, so can I. Instead of one, I'm so far behind, think, I'm exactly where I need to be on my journey. Instead of, why them and not me, think, my time is coming. Because comparison will steal your joy and paralyze your progress, but controlling that comparison reflex will set you free. You'll be able to celebrate others' success while building your own. You'll be able to stay in your lane while running your race, but only if you control your brain. Only if you refuse to let it drag you into the comparison trap. Let's talk about procrastination. Your brain is a master procrastinator. It will do anything to avoid difficult tasks. Suddenly, cleaning your room seems urgent. Checking email becomes critical. Scrolling social media feels necessary. This is called productive procrastination. Your brain tricks you into feeling busy while avoiding the real work. Why? Because difficult tasks trigger discomfort, and your brain wants to avoid discomfort at all costs. Writing that business plan is hard. Making that sales call is scary. Having that tough conversation is uncomfortable. So your brain redirects you to easy, comfortable tasks. But here's the kicker. The discomfort of doing the task is always less than the long-term pain of not doing it. Not writing the business plan means staying stuck in your job. Not making the sales call means staying broke. Not having the conversation means staying in a bad relationship. So you have to control your brain. When you feel the urge to procrastinate, recognize it. My brain wants to avoid discomfort. Then do the hard thing anyway, just for 5 minutes. Tell yourself, I'll just work on this for 5 minutes. Your brain can handle 5 minutes. And usually once you start, momentum carries you forward. But you must take control of that initial resistance. Your brain has a confirmation bias. It looks for evidence to support what you already believe. If you believe you're a failure, your brain will show you every time you've failed. If you believe you're successful, your brain will show you every time you've succeeded. Both people might have the same track record, but their brains show them completely different realities. This is why mindset is everything. What you believe shapes what you perceive, and what you perceive shapes what you believe. It's a self-reinforcing cycle. So if you want to change your life, you must change your beliefs. And to change your beliefs, you must control what your brain focuses on. Stop dwelling on failures. Start celebrating wins. Stop replaying rejection. Start remembering acceptance. Start focusing on what you lack. Start appreciating what you have. This isn't toxic positivity. It's strategic focus. You're not ignoring problems. You're refusing to let them define you. You're controlling your brain's attention to create a more empowering reality. And as your beliefs shift, your actions shift. And as your actions shift, your results shift. But it all starts with controlling your brain's focus. Let me tell you about the reticular activating system, or RAS. It's a bundle of nerves in your brainstem that filters information. You're bombarded with millions of bits of data every second, and your RAS decides what reaches your conscious awareness. And here's the key. Your RAS is programmed by what you focus on. Ever notice how when you're thinking about buying a red car, suddenly you see red cars everywhere? They were always there, but your RAS is now filtering for them. This is incredibly powerful. If you program your RAS to look for opportunities, you'll see opportunities everywhere. If you program it to look for problems, you'll see problems everywhere. So how do you program it? Through repetition and emotion. What you consistently think about with feeling becomes your RAS filter. This is why visualization works, why affirmations work, why goal setting works. You're literally programming your brain to filter reality in a way that supports your success. But you must control this process. You must consciously choose what to focus on, because if you don't, your brain will default to negativity and threats. Take control. Program your RAS for success. Your brain runs on patterns. It predicts what will happen based on what's happened before. This is usually helpful. It's why you don't have to relearn how to walk every day. But it's problematic when your past patterns don't serve your future. If every relationship you've had ended badly, your brain predicts this one will too, so it creates anxiety that sabotages the relationship. If every business you've tried failed, your brain predicts this one will too, so it creates doubt that prevents you from fully committing. Your brain is trying to protect you from predicted pain, but it's actually creating the pain it's trying to avoid. This is called a self-fulfilling prophecy. So you must control your brain's pattern recognition. When it says, this will end badly, because it always has, respond with, the past doesn't dictate the future. I'm different now. My circumstances are different. My actions will be different. Therefore, my results will be different. You have to override the prediction. You have to create a new pattern. And the only way to do that is to control your brain's automatic responses and choose different action. Break the pattern. Take control. Create a new future. Let's talk about instant gratification versus delayed gratification. Your brain is wired for instant gratification. It wants the reward now. This made sense for your ancestors. If there was food, eat it now because you don't know when the next meal is coming. But in modern society, this wiring is destroying you. It's why you choose Netflix over working on your business. It's why you choose fast food over meal prep. It's why you choose spending over saving. Your brain wants the immediate pleasure, and it's really good at minimizing future consequences. I'll start tomorrow, just this once. I deserve this. But successful people have learned to control this impulse. They've trained their brain to value delayed gratification. They understand that the temporary discomfort of discipline leads to the permanent pleasure of achievement. They choose the hard path because they know it leads somewhere worth going. And you can train your brain the same way. Start small. Choose delayed gratification in small ways. Save $5 instead of spending it. Read for 15 minutes instead of scrolling. Work out for 20 minutes instead of watching TV. Each time you do this, you strengthen your brain's ability to delay gratification. You build the mental muscle needed for success, but you must take control. Your brain has an incredible ability called visualization. Athletes use it. Surgeons use it. CEOs use it. Because your brain can't tell the difference between a vividly imagined experience and a real one. When you visualize in detail, your brain fires the same neural pathways as if you were actually doing the activity. This is powerful. If you consistently visualize yourself succeeding, your brain starts to believe it's possible. If you consistently visualize yourself confident, your brain starts to embody confidence. If you consistently visualize yourself wealthy, your brain starts to spot wealth-building opportunities. But most people never use this tool. Instead, they accidentally visualize failure. They replay worst-case scenarios. They imagine rejection. They picture embarrassment. and their brain prepares for that reality. So you must control your visualization. Spend 10 minutes every morning visualizing your ideal day. See yourself accomplishing your goals. Feel the emotions of success. Hear the words of congratulations. Engage all your senses. Make it vivid. Make it real. Do this consistently, and your brain will start moving you toward that reality. It will adjust your behavior, your decisions, your actions, but you must take control of this process. You must consciously choose what you visualize. Let's address overwhelm. Your brain gets overwhelmed when it's trying to process too much at once, and modern life is designed to overwhelm your brain. Constant notifications, endless options, information overload. Your brain wasn't designed for this. It's like running Windows 95 and trying to open 50 programs at once. It freezes. And when your brain is overwhelmed, it shuts down. You become paralyzed. You can't make decisions. You can't take action. You just stop. So you must control your brain's input. Limit information. Turn off notifications. Reduce options. Focus on one thing at a time. Your brain can only consciously process one thing at once anyway. Trying to multitask is just switching rapidly between tasks, which reduces efficiency and increases stress. So give your brain what it needs. Singular focus. Work on one goal at a time. Handle one task at a time. Have one conversation at a time. Be fully present. This isn't just about productivity, it's about mental health. Your brain needs space to process, to rest, to consolidate. So take control. Protect your brain from overwhelm. Create boundaries. Create space. Create focus. Your brain will thank you with clarity, energy, and better decisions. Your brain is addicted to certainty. It craves predictability. It wants to know what's going to happen. This is why change is so hard. Even if your current situation is terrible, it's known. Your brain prefers known pain over unknown potential. This is why people stay in toxic relationships, why they stay in dead-end jobs, why they stay in limiting circumstances. The devil they know feels safer than the devil they don't. But growth requires uncertainty. Success requires stepping into the unknown. Wealth requires taking risks. Health requires changing comfortable routines. So you must control your brain's need for certainty. You must become comfortable being uncomfortable. You must accept that the path to your dreams involves uncertainty, and you must move forward anyway. Tell your brain, I know you want certainty, but we're doing this anyway. Make peace with not knowing exactly how things will turn out. Trust that you'll figure it out along the way, because the alternative is staying stuck in a life you've outgrown, and that's not living, that's dying slowly. To take control, choose growth over comfort, choose possibility over certainty, choose faith over fear. Let's talk about the power of language in controlling your brain. The words you use literally shape your neural pathways. When you say, I can't, your brain stops looking for solutions. When you say, I can, your brain starts problem solving. When you say, I have to, you create resistance. When you say, I get to, you create appreciation. When you say, I'm trying, you build in permission to fail. When you say, I'm doing, you build in commitment to succeed. Your language is programming code for your brain. So audit your language. Listen to what you're saying. Are you using empowering language or disempowering language? Are you speaking possibility or limitation? Are you affirming what you want or what you don't want? Because your brain is listening and it's believing everything you say. So speak carefully, speak powerfully, speak intentionally. Replace I can't with how can I. Replace I have to with I choose to. Replace I'll try with I will. Replace I'm bad at with I'm improving at. Small language shifts create massive brain shifts, and massive brain shifts create life shifts. But you must take control of your language. You must speak with intention. You must program your brain for success. Your brain has a spotlight of attention. It can only shine on one thing at a time, and whatever that spotlight shines on grows larger in your reality. If you focus on problems, problems grow. If you focus on solutions, solutions grow. If you focus on what's wrong, you'll find more wrong. If you focus on what's right, you'll find more right. This is why gratitude is so powerful. When you focus on what you're grateful for, you find more to be grateful for. Your brain spotlight illuminates blessings you were previously blind to. But if you focus on complaints, you'll find endless things to complain about. Your brain spotlight will show you everything that's wrong with your life. So where is your spotlight right now? What are you focusing on? Problems or possibilities? Lack or abundance? Past or future? You must control your brain's spotlight. You must consciously direct it toward what serves you. This doesn't mean ignoring problems. It means not dwelling on them. Acknowledge the problem, focus on the solution. Recognize what's missing, appreciate what's present. See the obstacle, spot the opportunity. Control your focus, control your reality. It's that simple. But simple doesn't mean easy. It requires constant vigilance. It requires consistent brain control. Let me tell you about neurochemicals and how they control your behavior. Dopamine is your motivation molecule. Serotonin is your mood stabilizer. Oxytocin is your bonding chemical. Cortisol is your stress hormone. Your brain is constantly releasing these chemicals based on your thoughts and experiences, and they dramatically affect your behavior. High dopamine, you feel motivated. Low dopamine, you feel apathetic. High serotonin, you feel content. Low serotonin, you feel depressed. But here's what's powerful. You can control your neurochemistry through your choices. Exercise releases endorphins and serotonin. Sunlight boosts vitamin D and mood. Social connection releases oxytocin. Accomplishing tasks releases dopamine. Sleep regulates everything. So if you want to control your brain, you must control your neurochemistry. And you control your neurochemistry through your daily habits. Move your body, get sunlight, connect with people, accomplish small tasks, prioritize sleep. These aren't just nice to haves. They're requirements for a well-functioning brain. Without them, your brain chemistry is off, and controlling your behavior becomes nearly impossible. So take control. Build the habits that support healthy brain chemistry. Because you can't white-knuckle your way through life with depleted neurochemicals. You must give your brain what it needs to function optimally. Your brain's default mode network is like a screensaver. It runs when you're not actively focused on something. And for most people, this default mode is negative. It replays problems. It rehearses worries. It imagines catastrophes. This is why busy people are often happier. Their brain doesn't have time to run the negative default program. But you can't stay busy forever. Eventually, you're alone with your thoughts. So you must reprogram your default mode. How? Through meditation, through mindfulness, through consciously choosing what your brain does when it's idle. Instead of letting it wander into negativity, give it a positive task. Review your goals, replay your wins, rehearse upcoming success, practice gratitude, visualize your ideal life. Take control of your brain's downtime. Don't let it run wild with worry and negativity, because those default thoughts shape your beliefs, and your beliefs shape your reality. So if your default is negative, your reality becomes negative. But if your default is positive, your reality shifts. It's not about toxic positivity or ignoring problems. It's about strategic mental programming. It's about controlling what your brain does when you're not actively directing it. So take control. Reprogram your default mode. Make peace, possibility, and gratitude your brain's screensaver. Let's talk about the power of identity in controlling your brain. Your brain has a self-concept, an identity of who you believe you are, and it will fight to maintain that identity. If you identify as someone who can't lose weight, your brain will sabotage every diet. If you identify as someone who's bad with money, your brain will create financial problems. If you identify as someone who's unlucky in love, your brain will find evidence everywhere. This is called identity protection, and it's one of the most powerful forces in your psychology. So if you want to change your life, you must change your identity. You must control your brain's self-concept. How? Through consistent action and declaration. If you want to be wealthy, start identifying as a wealthy person now. How do wealthy people think? Act, decide, be that. If you want to be healthy, start identifying as a healthy person now. How do healthy people eat, move, rest? Do that. Your brain will resist. This isn't who we are. But if you persist, if you act as that person consistently, your brain will eventually update its self-concept. And once your identity shifts, everything becomes easier. Your brain stops fighting you and starts supporting you. But you must take control of this process. You must consciously choose who you're becoming and act accordingly. Your brain operates on two systems, System 1 and System 2. System 1 is fast, automatic, emotional. System 2 is slow, deliberate, logical. Most of your daily decisions are made by System 1 because it's efficient. But System 1 makes mistakes. It takes mental shortcuts. It's biased. It's emotional. So when you need to make important decisions, you must activate System 2. You must control which system is running. How do you do this? By slowing down, by pausing before reacting, by questioning your initial impulse. That gut feeling, that's System 1. And sometimes it's System 1. And sometimes it's right, but often it's not. So activate System 2. Is this response productive? Before you make that emotional purchase, pause, activate System 2. Is this aligned with my goals? Before you quit because it's hard, pause, activate System 2. Is this quitting or strategically pivoting? Take control of which brain system is making your decisions. Don't let System 1 run your life on autopilot. Engage System 2 for important choices. This is what separates successful people from everyone else. They've learned to control which system they're operating from. And you can too, but it requires awareness and deliberate control. Here's the ultimate truth about brain control. Your brain is a tool, not your master. It's incredibly powerful, but it's your tool. You're not your thoughts. You're the observer of your thoughts. You're not your emotions. You're the one experiencing emotions. You're not your impulses. You're the one who can choose whether to act on them. This separation is crucial. When you realize you're not your brain, you're the one controlling your brain, everything changes. You gain power. You gain choice. You gain freedom. Your brain will still generate negative thoughts. Let them come and go. Your brain will still create uncomfortable emotions. Feel them without being controlled by them. Your brain will still suggest destructive impulses. Acknowledge them without acting on them. Because you are in control. You are the master. Your brain is the servant. But most people live as slaves to their brain, reacting to every thought, every emotion, every impulse. And they wonder why their life is chaos. Take control. Master your brain. And master your life. So here's my question for you. What's one area of your life where your brain is currently controlling you instead of you controlling it? Is it your finances, your health, your relationships, your habits? Drop your answer in the comments. Be honest with yourself, because awareness is the first step to control. Once you identify where your brain is running the show, you can take back control. And if this message opened your eyes, if this gave you a new perspective, if this empowered you to take control, follow for daily wisdom that will help you master your mind and transform your life. I'm committed to showing up every day with content that makes you think, grow, and become better. Now it's your turn to commit to controlling your brain. Let's go!